Welcome back. In our last lesson, we learned several ways to say because. And in this lesson, I'll teach you a few more advanced ways to say because.
Billy! I reviewed all of the basics, just like you told me. And now I'm back.
That's great! So are you ready for some more advanced sentence connectors?
You bet. What's the first one?
Well, the first one is nurago, and it attaches to the end of a verb stem.
Attaches to a what?
A verb stem. You learned about verbs, right?
What's a verb?
Kiket, did you really review the basics?
Of course. I watched every episode of Squid Game.
Anyway, here are the topics we'll learn about in this lesson. Okay, let's get started with the first form for this lesson. nurago is also used to express the result of something and means because. However, it's only used after action verbs, and only action verbs that require effort to do, not something which isn't under a person's control, such as the weather. nurago is only used when the result is something negative. For example, A nurago B means because of doing A, B happened and B is bad. The subject must be the same on both sides of the sentence, not because you did A, I did B. In addition, most of the time the sentence will end in the past tense. Because nurago means because and shows a negative result, it can't be used when making commands or giving suggestions. This is because the command or suggestion would itself become the negative result. This would not make logical sense. To use it, attach nurago directly after an action verb stem. So 하다 would become 하느라고. While 고 is optional, it's most commonly added. The meaning is the same. Note, if the verb stem ends with the consonant lir, remove it. So 놀다 would become 노느라고.
지금 공부하느라고 바빠요.
I'm busy because I'm studying now.
물을 마시느라고 말을 못했어요.
I couldn't talk because I was drinking water.
새 차를 사느라고 돈을 빌렸어요.
I borrowed money because I was buying a new car.
눈물을 참느라고 힘들었어요.
It was difficult because I was holding back tears.
동생을 보느라고 못 갔어요.
I couldn't go because I was watching my younger sibling. nunbarame is also used to express the result of something and means because. It's also only used after action verbs, although any action verb is okay. nunbarame is only used when the result is something negative, unintended, or surprising. For example, A nunbarame B means because of doing A, B happened, and B is negative, unintended, or surprising. In addition, the sentence will almost always end in the past tense. nunbarame also can't be used when making commands or giving suggestions. This is because the command or suggestion would itself become a negative, unintended, or surprising result. This would not make logical sense. To use it, attach nunbarame directly after an action verb stem. So the verb 하다 would become 하는 바람에. However, if the verb stem ends with the consonant lir, remove it. So 놀다 would become 노는 바람에.
버스가 늦게 도착하는 바람에 늦었어요.
I was late because the bus arrived late.
눈이 오는 바람에 사고가 났어요.
There was an accident because it snowed.
재료가 모자라는 바람에 이상하게 됐어요.
It turned out strange because there weren't enough ingredients.
정전이 되는 바람에 콘서트표 예약을 못했어요.
I couldn't reserve the concert tickets because there was a power outage.
창문 닫는 걸 깜빡하는 바람에 침대가 비에 젖었어요.
The bed got wet by the rain because I forgot to close the window. 고해서 comes from the sentence connector 고 and 해서 meaning because of. and means because. This has the same usage and restrictions as the 서 form. This means because when the speaker's giving one of many reasons. For example, A 고해서 B means because of A, among other reasons, B. It's common for the sentence with 고해서 to also contain the particle 도, meaning also, even, or to, as well as the form 기도, which are used for emphasis, though this is not required. To use it, attach 고해서 directly after a verb stem in the present tense or the past tense. So 하다 would become 하고 해서.
지금 나가도 늦었고 해서 안 가려고요.
I'm not going to go because even if I leave now, I'm late.
비도 왔고 새 운동화이고 해서 밖에 나가기 싫어요.
Because it rained and these are new shoes, I don't want to go outside.
이제 여름이고 해서 수영복을 샀어요.
Because it's summer now, I bought a swimming suit.
운전면허도 땄고 해서 여행을 가려고요.
Because I got my driver's license, I'm going to go on a trip.
항상 엄마가 도와주시고 해서 어떻게 하는지 몰라요.
My mom always helps me, so I don't know how to do it. Alternatively, you can use the form 기도해서 in the same way as 고해서. This has the same meaning and usage, but adds the nuance of also or even to the verb. So to use it, attach 기도해서 directly after a verb stem in the present tense or the past tense. So 하다 could become 하기도 해서.
눈도 오고 춥기도 해서 택시를 탔어요.
Because it snowed and it's also cold, I took a taxi.
쓰기도 하고 맵기도 해서 먹기 힘들 거예요.
Because it's bitter and it's also spicy, it'll be difficult to eat.
오늘은 좀 피곤하기도 해서 일찍 집에 갔어요.
Today I'm also a bit tired, so I went home early.
당근은 달고 몸에 좋기도 해서 매일 먹어요.
Carrots are sweet and good for the body, so I eat them every day.
할 것도 없고 심심하기도 해서 나왔어요.
I don't have anything to do, and I'm also bored, so I came outside. gohanika comes from the sentence connector 고 and 하니까, meaning because of, and means because. gohanika has the same usage and restrictions as the 으니까 form. This means that gohanika can be used when making commands or suggestions, while 고해서 cannot. This means because when the speaker's giving one of many reasons. For example, A gohanika B means because of A, among other reasons, B. The overall meaning is the same as 고해서. To use it, attach gohanika directly after a verb stem in the present tense or the past tense. So 하다 would become 하고 하니까. Alternatively, use 기도하니까. This is less common.
친구가 많고 하니까 외롭지 않아요.
I have a lot of friends, so I'm not lonely.
잠만 잘 거고 하니까 큰 집은 필요 없어요.
I'll only sleep, so I don't need a big house.
가깝고 맛도 좋고 하니까 자주 가.
It's close and tastes good, so I go often.
날씨도 덥고 하니까 냉면 먹을래요?
The weather's also hot, so do you want to eat cold noodles?
곧 엄마 생일이고 하니까 여행을 가려고요.
It's my mom's birthday soon, so I'll go on a trip. You may also see 타고 해서. This is simply a combination of a quoting form with the 해서 ending. For example, 하다 can become 한다고 when quoting, which then becomes 한다고 해서. Or 이다 can become 이라고 해서. This has the added meaning from the quoting form when saying a cause and effect. For example, A 타고 해서 B means because I heard or someone said A, B. To use it, attach 해서 after a quoting form. So 하다 would become 한다고 해서.
웃어도 된다고 해서 웃었어요.
They said it was okay to laugh, so I laughed.
친구가 영화를 보자고 해서 나갈 거예요.
My friend said let's see a movie, so we'll go out. You may also see gohanika. This is simply a combination of a quoting form with the hanika ending. For example, 하다 can become 한다고 when quoting, which then becomes 한다고 하니까. This can shorten to 다니까. Or the form 이다 can become 이라고 하니까, or shorten to 이라니까. This has the added meaning from the quoting form when saying the reason for something. For example, A 다고 하니까 B means because I heard or someone said A, B. To use it, attach 하니까 after a quoting form. So 하다 could become 한다고 하니까.
철수가 어렵다고 하니까 도와주세요.
Charsu said it's difficult, so help him.
밤에 비가 온다고 하니까 우산을 가져왔어요.
They say it'll rain at night, so I brought an umbrella. In the form 타고 해서, adding 해서 is optional and can be removed in casual and informal speech. 타고 is often used to say something negative, such as it doesn't mean, or you shouldn't, or don't. It can also translate as just because.
비가 온다고 소풍이 취소되진 않아요.
Just because it's raining doesn't mean the picnic is canceled.
무섭다고 울었어요.
I cried because I was scared.
배운다고 다 잘하는 건 아니에요.
Just because you're learning doesn't mean you'll be good at everything.
한 끼 굶는다고 안 죽어.
Just because you skipped a meal doesn't mean you'll die.
지금 세일이라고 장사가 잘 되네요.
It's on sale now, so it's selling well. 탓 literally means fault and can mean because when blaming something or someone. It can be used like a regular noun. For example, 아빠의 탓이에요 means it's dad's fault. 탓 can be used by adding the particle 에 or 이다. It can be used as is after nouns, just like 때문, or it can be used with verbs. This means the fault of or because of whatever it comes after. To use it with a noun, attach 탓 after a noun with a space. So 친구 would become 친구 탓. Then attach 에 if followed by an action, for example, 친구 탓에. Or attach 이다 and conjugate it at the end of a sentence. So 친구 탓이다. For verbs, conjugate a verb into an adjective in the present tense or the past tense, then attach 탓, followed by 에. So 하다 could become 하는 탓에.
늦게 나온 탓에 버스를 놓쳤어요.
I came out late, so I missed the bus.
여기는 안개 탓에 사고가 자주 나요.
There are accidents here often because of the fog.
오랜 가뭄 탓에 강이 말랐어요.
The river dried because of the long drought.
길이 많이 막히는 탓에 늦게 도착했어요.
I arrived late because there was a lot of traffic. 통해 is also used to express the result of something and means because or due to. It's most often used with action verbs. 통해 is only used when the result is something negative. This is most often something stressful or difficult. For example, A는 통해 B means because of doing A, B happened, and it was stressful or difficult. 통해 also can't be used when making commands or giving suggestions. This is because the command or suggestion would itself become a negative, stressful, or difficult result. This would not make logical sense. To use it, conjugate a verb into an adjective in the present tense, then add 통해. So 하다 would become 하는 통해. Note if the verb stem ends with the consonant lir, remove it. So 놀다 would become 노는 통에.
차가 고장나는 통에 늦었어요.
I was late because my car broke down.
옆에서 크게 떠드는 통에 하나도 못 들었어요.
I couldn't hear at all because they were talking loudly next to me.
쓰레기를 아무데나 버리는 통에 벌레가 많아졌어요.
There are more bugs because they threw away trash everywhere.
공항이 혼잡한 통에 평소보다 오래 걸렸어요.
Because the airport's crowded, it took longer than usual. Occasionally, 통에 can be used after a few specific nouns such as 전쟁, meaning war, or 난리, meaning chaos. This is less common.
전쟁통에 잃어버렸어요.
I lost it due to the war.
난리통에 정신이 없었어요.
I was confused due to the panic. 나머지 can be used to express the result of something and means because. It's used when something is an extreme amount. For example, A 나머지 B means B is because of A, which is extreme. You can think of 나머지 as meaning because someone or something is or was so or extremely. Most often, 나머지 is used with a negative result, but it can also be used with a positive result. This form is found more often in writing and less often in speaking. 나머지 also can't be used when making commands or giving suggestions. This is because 나머지 literally comes from a word meaning something small or few that's left over. Giving a command or suggestion after saying because of what's left over from something would not make logical sense. To use it, attach 나머지 directly after a verb stem that ends with a consonant or attach 니은 나머지 if it ends in a vowel. So 먹다 would become 먹은 나머지. And 하다 would become 한 나머지. Common verb stem exceptions may apply. You can pause the video here to see some examples.
바쁜 나머지 깜빡했어요.
I forgot because I was so busy.
배고픈 나머지 차가운 피자를 먹었어요.
I was so hungry that I ate cold pizza.
친구가 화난 나머지 밖으로 나갔어요.
My friend was so angry that they left.
깜짝 놀란 나머지 소리를 질렀어요.
I was so shocked I shouted.
철수가 속상한 나머지 눈물을 흘렸어요.
철수 was so upset he cried. The particle 으로 can also be used after a noun and shows that noun is the cause or reason for something that happened. This can translate as due to or because of. This is common in everyday speech. Here's one example.
선생님의 도움으로 잘 끝냈어요.
I finished due to the teacher's help. 으로 can also be followed by either 인해서 or by 말미암아. Both of these are formal and are mostly used in writing or official usage, such as news broadcasts. 인해서 and 말미암아 are optional, but one is most often added. 인해서 is more common than 말미암아, which has a formal, old-style feeling. Let's look at each of these forms in detail. First, here are some examples of using 으로 in this way.
5년 동안 여드름으로 고생했어요.
I suffered for 5 years due to pimples.
탈수로 쓰러졌어요.
I collapsed from dehydration.
심한 감기로 잠을 못 잤어요.
I couldn't sleep due to a severe cold. The verb 인하다, meaning to be caused, can be used to mean due to or as a result of something. Depending on how it's used in a sentence, it can become either 으로 인해서 or 으로 인한. 으로 인해서 is used like an adverb to describe an action verb, and 으로 인한 is used as an adjective to describe a noun. To use it, attach the particle 으로 after a noun with a space. followed by either 인해서 or 인한. So 그것 could become 그것으로 인해서 or 그것으로 인한. First, let's look at examples of 으로 인해서.
제 실수로 인해서 여러 사람이 고생했어요.
Many people suffered because of my mistake.
겨울방학으로 인해서 손님이 늘었어요.
Our customers increased due to the winter break.
스트레스로 인해서 배탈이 났어요.
I got a stomachache due to stress. 으로 인한 is used when describing something, a noun that is the cause of something. Because it's used as an adjective, you can think of 으로 인한 as meaning something that is due to or that is a result of.
홍수로 인한 피해가 커요.
The damage due to the flood is big.
중고 판매로 인한 소득이 생겼어요.
I earned income due to second-hand sales.
부주의로 인한 사고가 가장 많아요.
There are the most accidents due to carelessness. Alternatively, use 으로 말미암아 in the same way as 으로 인해서. To use it, attach 으로 directly after a noun that ends with a consonant, or attach 로 if it ends with a vowel, or the consonant 릴. So, 집 would become 집으로, 학교 would become 학교로, and 물 would become 물로. Then add 말미암아.
가뭄으로 말미암아 수확이 줄었어요.
The harvest decreased due to the drought.
불황으로 말미암아 실직자가 늘고 있어요.
The unemployed are increasing due to the recession. 으로 can also be used with verbs. However, the form changes into 음으로. 음으로 is typically only used in formal and official writing and speaking. It is not used in everyday speech. Less commonly, this form can also be followed by 인해서 or 말미암아. To use it, attach 음으로 directly after a verb stem that ends with a consonant, or attach 무로 if it ends with a vowel. So 하다 would become 함으로, and 먹다 would become 먹음으로. Note that common verb exceptions may apply. You can pause the video here to see examples.
침대에서 떨어질 수 있으므로 조심해 주세요.
You could fall from the bed, so please be careful.
투표에 의한 것이므로 모두 따라주세요.
It was the result of a vote, so everyone please follow it.
여기서부터는 보호구역이므로 들어가면 안 됩니다.
From here is a protected area, so you must not enter. 기로서니 can also be used to express the reason for something and can translate as because. However, it's used in a similar way as the 도 form, which means even if. 기로서니 is used to say that although the speaker agrees with something in the conversation, they think it's not a valid reason to do something else. For example, A 기로서니 B can mean, even if it's because of A, that's not a valid reason for B. You can also think of it as meaning regardless of because. Just like the 도 form, 기로서니 is commonly used together with the adverb 아무리, meaning no matter. 아무리 adds more emphasis to the meaning of even if. To use it, attach 기로서니 directly after a verb stem in the present tense or the past tense. So 하다 would become 하기로서니. 기로서니 can also be shortened to 기로서 or simply 기로. The meaning is the same, but the longer versions add more emphasis.
책이 비싸기로써니 다이아몬드 반지만 할까?
Even if the book is expensive, could it be as much as a diamond ring?
아이가 거짓말을 했기로써니 그렇게까지 혼을 내요?
Even if the child lied, you're going to scold them that much?
아무리 맛있기로써니 2시간을 기다리고 싶진 않아요.
No matter how delicious it is, I don't want to wait for 2 hours. 파 is used to mean 것, 일, and 줄. For a full lesson on 파 and how it can be used at the end of sentences, check out my other videos. 파 can also be used to express that the reason or cause for something that happens is due to another thing happening. It means because or since. 파 is only used in this way in formal and official announcements and not in everyday speech. It's also a rare usage of the form 파, which has other more common uses that I'll cover later in this series. To use it, conjugate an action verb into an adjective in the present tense, then attach 파. So 하다 would become 하는 바.
그 병에 대해선 알려진 게 없는 바 조심하는 수밖에 없어요.
As there's nothing known about that disease, all we can do is be careful. And that's all for this lesson. Remember to take your time, take lots of notes, and practice everything in this lesson before moving on. And I'll see you again in the next lesson. 그럼 다음에 또 봐.